Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to Kate's Space. I'm Kate from Pixie Designs, and welcome to a chilly, wintry day in New Zealand, well, Hawke's Bay anyway. I don't know about everywhere else, but I'm sure it's chilly everywhere else here too. It is the end of Junk Journal July. Today is the 2nd of August for us, and I wanted to do a quick flip through. I'll try and keep it quick. If it drags on too long, you can always just flick forward. Just finished watching the delayed coverage of the gymnastics, the artistic gymnastics from the Olympics. So yeah, I have been watching way more Olympics than I usually would do. I got a subscription to Sky Sport now just for the Olympics, and I've really been enjoying it, and we've had some exciting rowing, and the triathlon was exciting, and yeah, it's been really fun. Anyway, so I wanted to get this done and out of the way, and then I can tie it up with some string and pop it up on my shelf with my other ones. So this is probably the earliest I've ever finished a Junk Journal July or Junk Journal January, or the closest to the finish. Anyway, here's the wee cover. I made an accordion journal. It sits pretty good, I reckon, considering I'm a bit of a wonky sort of person, and I'm pretty happy that it sits sort of there. It doesn't fall about. I've got a video of making the cover, I think I have, and I will link that. It'll come up on your screen, and also I'll link it in the description box so you can click on it and go and have a look. But I did a bit of a mixed media cover this time, and I used the beautiful photos from Tracy at Art House Whimsy. And then I decided, and I've done this before, to type out the prompts at the front rather than have them on the layouts themselves. So I've typed them out on the insert of this old Christmas card. And yeah, so that's that. And then I've placed this picture here just of all my, I think these are all the journals I've done for Junk Journal July and Junk Journal January so far, and the one on top is this one here. I'm not sure if I love working in the accordion journal kind of system. I think, yeah, I found it a little bit tricky because I knew there's stuff on the other side. And I know there is on a normal journal too, but yeah, I found it a bit tricky, but it was good to try. So the first one is Spark, and I have to admit, I think I probably had trouble just straight from the beginning with Spark. But yeah, then I just went with doing what sparks joy, some of my favourite things, roses, florals, this old wallpaper. And then I put some glitter on for some sparkle. And I decided for all the things I would use these old number sort of stickers that I was given, and they're for auctions. So yeah, and then I just did a little bit of journaling here. And I think that's the only actual journaling I've done in the entire book. And use some of the lace throughout that I've used on the front cover. And then we go to postcard, and I've got a little postcard down here and a little bit. So I've used faux postcards. These are images from the graphics fairy with these lovely little delicate butterflies. This page here, the mistake I've made is this is a very old botanical book page, and it's tearing in several places. I probably should have actually completely covered it, or almost all covered it, because I think this page is probably going to give up the ghost, and you'll see when I come to the other side how that is deteriorating already. And then we had fold, and I decided to use a quote, but friendship is the breathing rose with sweets in every fold. And also this folds open. Again, the fussy cut rose, which is one of my favorite things, the botanicals and fussy cutting. And this is one of the tip-ins that I had done for my actual video on the 23rd, which obviously I did before I started my journal. Then we have labels, and I just used some labels here. I think this might be from Tracy Fox's labels. This is obviously a label, and then I made a label on some old paper with a stamp and some stamps. It's my daughter's birthday on the 4th of July, so this is her, and there's glue all over this photo, which is obviously from the other page. But that's all right, it's for me, it doesn't really matter. Then we came to lettering, and I did my usual attempt at some lettering with a sort of calligraphy pen, which I smudged, and I was pretty disappointed. But then I just had there's just all sorts of different lettering. There's some Italian here, and this beautiful, do you call those decorated letters at the beginning of a sentence? That's from a girl's own paper. And then some embossed lettering, and then this, yeah. So that was lettering. Wildlife, I used some New Zealand wildlife from some of my New Zealand botanical books and the bird books. So these are New Zealand butterflies. I think they're red admirals, and then a fantail, a sparrow, and yeah. So that just speaks for itself. I actually really like that page and how that turned out. Window, I used this gorgeous little image from Amity Bloom. I'm working on a journal with some of her digitals at the moment, and this one at the back's from her as well, and then just a little funny quote, and then some layering with the lace and a little bit of texture paste. Observe, again another little picture that I fussy cut from one of Amity Bloom's digitals, excuse me, and noticing thought and showing self-compassion can make the path of life that little bit smoother. So yeah, that was my observe. And these flowers here are just actually from a magazine, so just a lot of, and so's this. So yeah, just a little bit of different stuff and a bit of negative film there. Quite like that one. The next one is scraps, and of course this whole book is made of scraps, but I added a few more, and this was already on the page, and so I kind of had to tried to work around that, and I thought, how am I going to do that? And it was sort of loose, so I thought, oh, I'll make it a pocket, and then I made a scrappy tag out of scraps that were on my desk or in my scrapbook box, and then some scraps of fabric to top it off, and also there's some scraps on the back. So yeah, that was actually a fun little one. This one took me forever to think of. Threads, I didn't really know what to do, but I remembered I had this piece of fabric that I've been holding on to that had a hole in it. This is, yeah, I mean, these are the things we do, right? So I knew I had it. I looked everywhere for it. It took me ages to find it, but I did find it, and I don't know why. I just wanted to use it for this one. And then I used this poem. I'm hanging on by a thread, and so are you, and him, and her, and them. But what if we tied our threads together? What if we stitched something strong enough to withstand the weight of it all, of us all? Big enough to make sure there's always a place to hold onto, even when parts of the fabric are threadbare. I'm hanging on by a thread, but I'm trying to learn how to weave. I don't know, it really appealed to me, that poem or saying or whatever. And yeah, so I've done some little stitches here, and these are all stitched on as well. And they're all typed onto vintage typewriter paper. Then we have stamps, and what have I done? I've stamped this, and I've stamped here. This is a stamp, yep, so pretty simple. And this is a bit of a funny one. Packaging. So this is a piece of packaging I've been holding on for a long time. This is a silly photo of me. I always put a photo in my journals, normally one that's a little bit more pleasing to the eye, but this was just a funny one I took of this hat that I'd bought and took apart. There's a video of a haul about that. But yeah, so this is some packaging from Prima flowers. I've had it for years, and then these are just fussy cut flowers from Minte papers. Yeah, so I just layered those up. Light, I did a picture of little Lucia, because Lucia actually means light, and I did some stitching around this one, and yeah, another one of those stamps, and this is on some acetate, this stamp. So that was that. Weather, I found this lovely sort of children's picture, and actually behind here is something from Winnie the Pooh. I don't know if you know Winnie the Pooh very well, but Piglet's in there, and he's being flooded out. And yeah, but I put this picture in front of it because I wanted the tree and the rain. And then this is some diary from a farmer's diary from the 50s, heavy cloud and odd heavy shower. He wrote about the weather every single day in his diary. And then we get to the back. So here's my other cover that I hadn't done when I showed the cover, and so another picture from Art House Whimsy, and then again just lay it up. So similar to the other one, just a really different vibe with that photo. So that's from the kit. She Has Flowers. Oh, and so's that. I also have She Has Wings, which they're beautiful images. Then it was homemade. So yeah, I just did lots of patterned sort of pictures from handmade sewing patterns, and a bit of sewing on the ruffle there. This is, what are we up to here? Sorry, petal. I used some of the flowers from that hat. So these are the really old millinery flowers that I've used, and this was already like this, so I've actually left it very simple. And this was again one of the tip-ins that I did in my video, and it was already done, so I've just left it as is. I could have put something more behind here, but I just chose not to. I did spend probably a lot of time, and probably too much time, on some of these prompts. Yeah, that I do get stuck really easily and start overthinking and get in a real tiz about them all. Then I did Aged, which I just used a quote. Nobody grows old merely by living a number of years. We grow old by deserting our ideals. Years may wrinkle the skin, but to give up enthusiasm wrinkles the soul. Great reminder for me. I feel like I'm kind of aging really fast and losing some of my spark. So that was a really great one. And then the next one, I found another quote. So the next one was Free. I really like this vintage picture of these young adults playing on the beach. I had an envelope here, and that got me really stuck, and in the end I ripped it off. Joe said, just rip it off and do something else, and so that's what I did. I ripped it off, did some a little bit of collaging, and then I typed out this Elizabeth Gilbert quote, which I think is fantastic. You are free because everyone is too busy fussing over themselves to worry all that much about you. Go be whomever you want to be, then do whatever you want to do. Pursue whatever fascinates you and brings you to life. Create whatever you want to create, and let it be done, and let it be stupendously imperfect, because it's exceedingly likely that nobody will notice, and that is awesome. Yeah, and yeah, I thought that was great, especially because I was just getting so het up about these quotes and how I was going to do them and whether I should share them on Instagram and all that kind of ridiculous stuff. So I felt that was a really good quote and something to remember. No one's really thinking about you as much as you think they are. It's very freeing. Right, tag is very simple. I made a tag. I put it in a lace pocket. So I used some of my 49 and Market things, and I think I did a video for this. This one here was inspired by Sue from Paper Inspirations. She's got a video, and I'll link that below, making these great journaling cards with the Tim Holtz wallpaper and some pictures hanging on them. And so I very much followed along and used a copy of a very old cabinet card that I own and put it in this frame, which is, I think, might be a Minte papers, and put it on some very old card and just hung it there. And yeah, that one was fun. So thanks, Sue, for the inspiration. Colours, I chose a photo from Bali of this beautiful sunset and this lovely ruffle, which is some beautiful batik fabric that I bought when I was in Bali last year. Can't believe it was last year. Anyway, seems so long ago now. And I bought a huge big sort of patchwork, where you could, yeah, it's a patchwork piece of beautiful fabric. Of course, I've got way too much, and I just should use it more often, but I thought it suited that whole theme. I got really stuck once we got to Timeless, and that's how I got behind. And in the end, I just used a picture of the Eiffel Tower, just a timeless place, a timeless icon, and the rose. So, and just these neutral colours, which tend to be quite timeless and classy. So that's what I did with that one. Ephemeral, again, I really struggled. So in the end, I found a quote which just really just helped, and just typed that onto one of my library cards. In the grand theatre of life, time is but a fleeting shadow, a reminder of the ephemeral nature of our existence. Each passing moment whispers a gentle yet insistent truth. Life is short. So yeah, I actually ended up really liking this one, and actually that's 24. 23 was tip-in, so it actually happened, which was quite cool. I got to this tip-in, which I'd already done in my video, on the 23rd, so I didn't really have to do much. I just stuck 23 on there, and then just did a tiny little bit of collaging on the back. Then tea-dyed, and I loved Michelle's video that she did, and I'll link that below as well, using tea bags. She did some beautiful things with her tea bags, and I just stamped mine. As you can see, it has bled somewhat. This is, you may have guessed, this is one of my favourite stamps at the moment, so this is the third time I've used it. But these are all tea-dyed, well, not the lace, but this little flower rose is tea-dyed, and so are these two fabrics. And then a label that I found, I think it's one of Heather's from Ruby and Pearls, from one of her label snippets kits or something, and it's teas and coffee, so a little thing. And this piece of doily is also tea-dyed, so that was that one. Shade, I think this is my least favourite page. I found this beautiful image of a tree, this sort of engraving or line drawing, and I wanted to use the whole thing, so I stuck it to one side of the page, and then I folded it, and then I put this picture of this lady with her parasol, so that also depicts shade, and then just layered it up with some pieces. Definitely my least favourite. Poetic, I didn't know what to do, but I actually turned out loving this one. I only put part of the poem on that I wanted to put on. I think it was a husband's poem to his wife about her birthday, and I just put the last of it down here. But then 'tis true, being yours, it is my birthday too, my second birth, this best of days. And this is the spine from the book that poem is from. Buttons, I didn't actually use any real buttons in the end. I had them all out. I was playing around with all sorts of things, but in the end I found this picture from the Girl's Own magazine, and she's got lovely buttons on her dress, and this I photocopied a button card I own and placed that there, and just a little fussy cut, and that was that one. I think at this point I started thinking I need to just get on with this because I'm behind and I'd like to get it finished. Contrast, again, I kept it pretty simple, black and white, and then with a little pop of red here, and I used the Tim Holtz die cuts, which I just cut out of black paper, and they don't really do so well with paper. They're probably better off if you do them with card. But yeah, this is the other side of that really weak paper, and I've had to mend it in several places where it's starting to split. So shine, I went all out with the bling. This is our lovely Ella performing on stage, and she really does shine when she dances, and so that was the perfect kind of depiction for shine for me. And then I just heat embossed these letters silver, and then put the glass glitter on. I mean, that's going to fall off and get everywhere over the years and scratch and everything, but then I remembered I had these really gaudy shiny doilies, so I've never used them, so I thought, well, now's your chance. So I used those. And Celebrate, I just channeled my inner child for Celebrate, and I was just looking through some magazines and found this Hooray for Today on the back page, and I cut all those letters out. And then also there was this picture of someone sitting at their desk, I don't know, doing things, writing, doing lettering and stuff. And then this was already on what Katie did next. So yeah, Hooray for Today, celebration, celebrate every day. And so that's my goal for August. It's birthday month for me and David, and so I just want to, after my real tough month in July, want to make August just a real positive, fun, and just really focus on how good things are rather than the other way around. And we're just heading into spring, and I've already noticed the mornings are lighter and the evenings are lighter. So hooray for today and hooray for spring coming. Yeah, so that is my junk journal July for 2024. Again, I have had a love-hate relationship with it. There's been days where I've just loved doing it. There's been days where I've just agonized over it. And I think that would always be the way for me. That just seems to be the way things go. But overall, I always feel really accomplished when I've done it. And I always love looking back on it as well. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today and looking at my journal. I hope you are all well, and if you're still going on Junk Journal July, carry on. There's no need to finish now. Just keep on doing it, because I know if you finish it, when you look back, say maybe in 6 months or a year's time, you will love looking through the things that you've done. So I encourage you to keep going if you're sort of halfway through or you've come to a standstill with it. Just go back to it and have a go, and you can just have the prompts on your mind and something will come to you and you'll go, oh yeah, that's what I'll do for that. Or just finish some of them and complete it. So yeah, thanks so much. Take care, and I'll see you again soon in the next video. Bye.